Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Neil and today we're going to talk about Zakk Wylde and the Pantera tribute thing. Okay, now first of all, there's been tons of YouTube videos made, some negative and some positive, discussing the Pantera tribute, whether it should happen, whether it shouldn't happen, and all of that business. And I just wanted to get some things off my chest, how I feel, because I think some of it is massively disrespectful. Massively disrespectful. And the main thing that we need to remember here with this tribute is that the people that are taking part in it, as in the people who are actually playing instruments on the damn stage and playing the Pantera songs, are people who have been a big part of Dimebag and Vinny's lives and musical careers. Now, let's look at Zakk Wylde, who seems to be copping for most of the hate, if not all of it. Zakk Wylde is an amazing guitar player, okay? You know, he's that good a guitar player that Ozzy Osbourne chose him as his guitar player when he was just 18 years of age. Gibson gave him his own signature Les Paul. When Zakk Wylde plays like one lick, you know it's Zakk Wylde. Sometimes even one note. He's just got that much of his own style that he has created himself because he's such an individual that you know who it is straight away. Like Brian May hits one string bend. And because his guitar tone is so unique and the way he plays is so unique, everybody knows it's Brian May. Zakk Wylde is exactly the same. One lick, one note, you know it's Zakk Wylde that's playing. His vibrato, his pinch harmonics, just his style, even his tone. He's made his own sound and created his own style, and he is, you know, a guitar hero for what it's worth. I don't understand why people are being so disrespectful to Zakk, because what we have to take into account here is that Zakk Wylde was a very good friend of Dime's, and he is going out there, walking onto stages and paying a tribute to his dead friend. And while he's doing that, there are absolute idiots on the internet saying all kinds of horrible things, as in he's not playing the solos right, he's not good enough, you know. I mean, I don't know how he must feel. He probably doesn't even read it and probably doesn't care, but the point is he is paying a tribute to his friend. You know, if somebody got up at a funeral and paid a tribute to one of their friends that have passed away, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't all stand up and start booing and jeering and writing stuff all over the internet about how terrible it is. It's massively disrespectful. I don't understand the mentality of it. There's thousands of people that are enjoying the gig and enjoying life and enjoying Zakk Wylde and enjoying the Pantera songs. As far as Phil and Rex go, you know, like, they took a big part in writing these songs and recording them, and they have every right to still play them with whoever they want to. I think the whole Pantera tribute thing has been blown out of proportion because it is a Pantera tribute. Really, it's not a Dimebag tribute, it's not a Dime tribute. It is celebrating the music of Pantera, and unfortunately, obviously two of them, the two brothers, the Abbott brothers, are not around anymore to take part in it. And if they were, they might not want to take part in it. But if they were still around, they'd be off doing their own thing, and probably Phil and Rex will still be off doing their own thing too, and both parties are probably playing Pantera songs live anyway, with separate musicians. So I don't get the big deal. If you are one of those people that's dishing out stupid comments and really single-minded hate things, you know, all over the internet, what you kind of have to realize is that probably you never knew Dime, and probably you never met Vinny, and you just watch videos of them or listen to their music and you think you know them, and you actually didn't. You may even feel like you know them because their music's been such a big part of your life, and I totally get that, but you don't know them, you've never met them. Zakk Wylde knew those guys and they were his friends, and he's paying a tribute to them by getting on stage and playing their songs with what is the new Pantera. They're not going out there and writing new songs under the Pantera name and releasing it, you know. I'm sure people would still buy it and still go to see them even if they were, but the point is they are just, you know, playing the Pantera songs, and it is kind of a tribute towards the Abbott brothers. Some of the comments are pretty offensive that I've read, and some of the things said, you know, are pretty offensive, and they are from people who are discrediting Zakk Wylde's playing, which is absolutely insane. You know, to sit in a bedroom, you know, and people who are complaining have probably achieved nothing, probably have never played to more than 10 people, you know. They might be amazing guitarists. They might sit there in their bedroom mimicking, you know, a Pantera, you know, a famous Dimebag solo, I don't know, say Mouth for War. They might sit there trying to get it perfect, every little bit of it, trying to sound exactly like Dime, sat in their bedroom, you know, and rewinding and playing again. And they might do it for hours and hours and hours until they can get it to sound as much like Dime as possible. You know, that might be what they're doing. If that's what they enjoy doing, then that's fair enough. But there are guitarists out there that want to be themselves and express themselves on the instrument and become their own player, rather than just some copycat numpty that just copies note for note. You know, like, I can't stand that type of player or that type of playing. You know, they'll copy Dime to a T and get everything so it sounds as much like the record as possible, even though when Dimebag played live, it sounded nothing like the recorded version anyway, and he just about improvised half the solos anyway and added in extra flurries, took bits out, extra dive bombs. You know, it was never strict to the record when Pantera played live and Dimebag was playing, and that's what was so special about music back then. You know, a lot of it was improvised on stage and off the cuff playing, and these guys that are just sat there trying to be exactly like Dime or Steve Vai, you know, they'll be like trying to be like Dimebag, and when they think they've mastered that and done enough of that, then they'll move on and they'll try and play exactly like Steve Vai. You know, that's fine if that's what they want to do, but some guys out there are trying to develop their own style, their own way of playing, write good music, and if the guys were all trying to mimic other people, we'd never get any new music that was good. You know, it would all sound generic. You know, we'd never get new guitarists coming through with their own style and sound. We'd just get a load of new Steve Vais and a load of new Dimebags. We wouldn't get any fresh sounds, any fresh guitar heroes ever. I have more respect for the guitarists out there that are trying to write their own music, their own tracks, and trying to invent their own sound, tone and style, rather than people who are just trying to mimic Dime. You know, what is the point? I don't get it. I don't get the point of doing it. If that's what you want to do, that's fair enough, but you can't diss an excellent guitar player who goes out there trying to pay tribute to his friend who was killed, you know, and he's playing in front of thousands upon thousands of people who are all filming it on their phones, you know, who are enjoying themselves because they've paid to enjoy it, and they're going in there enjoying themselves. They put it online, and then some guys are watching it, and they are going, oh, that note there wasn't right, and that doesn't sound like him. This just sounds like Zakk Wylde playing Dimebag, this, that. And yeah, that's what it is. You know, it is Zakk Wylde playing his own interpretation of Dime solos and Dime riffs. I think it's time that the internet started learning to enjoy themselves a bit more and stop getting so angry over such stupid things. You know, there's thousands of people jumping around in the crowd that are having a good time, while, you know, Johnny Briggs is sat in his bedroom and he's fuming on his keyboard like that, you know, and he's not formed a band yet even. He's never been on the stage and he's like, Zakk Wylde is terrible, I can't play a damn thing. You know, he's sat there, and instead of doing that, what he could be doing is writing what possibly could be the next best metal release album, you know, the next best album released ever. But instead, he'd rather be on the keyboard, I can't stand Zakk Wylde, he'll never be Dimebag, you know, all that business. Yeah, it's terrible, and I just want to get my feelings out there because it's making me mad at reading it and listening to it and watching it, and because obviously I like Pantera and I've clicked on all the videos, the internet knows what you like and what your preferences are now. Google, doesn't it? It knows everything you damn do. So then it's giving me these other videos with people moaning about Zakk's playing. It was only a few days earlier, you know, when we had to put up with everybody moaning about the new Metallica track and the new Kirk Hammett solo, mainly. And again, you know, Kirk Hammett, yeah, I don't like his playing as much as I did. It's not as melodic, it's just quite random and all over the place. But I still respect him, and he's still doing something I couldn't do, and he still wrote thousands of good riffs. Some of Metallica's best tracks were written by him, and whether his solos are amazingly technical or not doesn't really matter. Whether they sound a bit scrappy or what, it doesn't matter. But I think what we have to take into account is that he has provided all that music that's entertained us for years. So the last thing we should be doing really is ripping him to shreds all over the internet for just enjoying whatever he's doing, because that's all he's doing. We should be spending more time trying to be the next Metallica, you know, trying to be the next Kirk Hammett, trying to be the next guitar hero. We shouldn't be slagging off the guys that have achieved that status and have wrote those amazing songs that we listen to and love. So yeah, I wanted to get all this stuff off my chest because just this last week it's been getting a bit annoying. I don't usually put negative videos up on my channel. They're usually quite positive, even when it's gear related. If the gear is, I don't think it's any good, I won't review it. I just don't do anything with it. I'll send it back or get rid of it, sell it, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so negative videos are not a thing on my channel, and this is a bit negative, kind of in a positive way, I guess. But it's basically just having a go at all these people that are having a go at guys that have achieved massive things in their musical careers. And at the end of the day, is it just jealousy, you know, really? Is it plain old jealousy that, you know, Zakk Wylde's been chosen to play in Ozzy's band and Zakk Wylde has been chosen to play in the Pantera tribute gigs and all that? Is it a bit of jealousy, you know? Because, I mean, let's face it. Well, just imagine this. I get a phone call tomorrow. Phil Anselmo, for some reason, because maybe he's off his face or something, says, Neil, I've seen you playing and you're amazing. I really love you and I want you to come on tour with us and play guitar in the Pantera tribute. Just imagine that happening to you tomorrow, okay? Would you take that job? I wouldn't, not in a million years. I'll tell you why. Because I'm not good enough to take the job. Even if they offered me millions, I would not take it, because I wouldn't want to stand on stage and embarrass myself by trying to play Dimebag stuff. And I believe that all those guys in the bedroom that think they have the balls to stand up in front of 10k people and nail a Dimebag solo stood up, I think they need to wake up and smell a coffee, so to speak. You know, they need to realise what it's like to stand up in front of that many people. I've played to, like, you know, a room full of people. I've played to an empty room, and I've played to a massive lot of people. You know, I don't really know how many, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, whatever. But the point is, I know how nerve-wracking it can be the first time you step on stage and there is hundreds and thousands there rather than 10s, 15s and 20s. And these guys that are sat in the bedroom having a go at Zakk Wylde probably never played stood up in their lives anyway. And I don't believe that they will be able to stand on stage and pull it off as well as Zakk Wylde in a million years. So maybe, guys, if you are one of these people that's been slagging off the whole Zakk Wylde thing lately, jumping on that bandwagon, then maybe you should look in the mirror and ask yourself, can you walk on that stage into Dimebag's shoes with Pantera? And have you ever achieved anything on your guitar? You know, that's what you need to look at. And if you haven't and you would like to, then you need to put more effort into your guitar and less into keyboard warrioring. Thank you very much. I'll see you all soon.